BDD stands for Behavior Driven Development. But what does that mean? What does it mean to do BDD? Well, BDD is a process of exploring, discovering, defining, and then finally driving out the desired behavior of a software system using conversations, concrete examples, and automated tests. We use conversations about concrete examples to explore, discover, and finally illustrate our shared understanding of the problem we need to solve for our stakeholders. Then, we refine those examples into automated tests that describe the desired behavior of our solution to drive the development of the system. Cucumber is a tool that facilitates BDD. We can't teach you about Cucumber without teaching you about BDD too. So that's where we're going to start. A prerequisite for doing BDD is to have an agile process in place. BDD needs to be done just in time, at the last responsible moment, because we place a lot of emphasis on conversations rather than trying to write everything down. If you try to have those conversations too far ahead of doing the work, you'll have forgotten most of what you talked about. So you need to have your work already broken down into user stories. Ideally, you'll have also started to define acceptance criteria or business rules for those stories. But they don't need to be exhaustive yet. We'll flesh them out during the BDD process. Let's imagine we're building a point-of-sale system for an electronics retailer, Dixie's. Here's our next user story: process refunds. In order to satisfy customers' statutory rights, as a sales assistant, I need to be able to process refunds. In order to prepare this story for development, we have what we call a Three Amigos meeting. We call it the Three Amigos because it involves three different disciplines from the team: test, development, and product. Let's watch one in action.
The business rules for this story are really simple. Any item can be returned within 14 days as long as the customer has a receipt.
Can you give me an example?
Okay. Colin, the customer, bought a kettle last week from us. When he got home, he realised the colour didn't match his kitchen cabinets and he really didn't like it. He's brought it back to the store for a refund. He walks up to Sally, a junior sales assistant, and he asks her to process the refund.
What's the outcome here? What are we supposed to test?
Well, we need to increment the stock quantity for that item so we know it's back in our inventory.
Right, anything else?
No, I think that's all.
What if Colin doesn't have his receipt? Does Sally have to send him home?
Well, a manager can process a refund with any proof of purchase. Colin could use a bank statement, for example, but Sally can't do that, so she would have to ask her boss.
Right, so there are two rules here. The customer must have proof of purchase, not just the receipt. And if they don't have their receipt, then it must be authorised by a manager, right?
Oh, right, exactly.
Aren't we forgetting something here? Isn't Colin supposed to get his money back?
Oh, yes, of course.
And does the system need to notify anyone in the warehouse to come and pick up the kettle?
Good idea, Tommy. Yes. I think that's out of our scope for this version of the story, but I'll put it on the backlog for future iteration.
As you can see, the Three Amigos meeting raises lots of questions. It's a really useful way to discover assumptions and potential misunderstandings. It is also a great way to communicate requirements that somebody might have thought about, but never explained clearly to other people on the team. Sometimes the Three Amigos will hit a question that nobody in the room knows the answer to. These are also a valuable output from the meeting. Now you have a clear picture of what you know and what you need to find out. Talking through examples is a great way to get everyone on the same page about what needs to be built. Once all Three Amigos are happy that they understand the story, then you can start translating your examples into something that Cucumber can understand. Here's one of our examples written out in Gherkin, the specification language for Cucumber. As you can see, Gherkin's almost like plain English. We have to use a few special keywords so that Cucumber can understand it too. Words like feature, scenario, given, when, and then. You'll learn all about these soon. We can refine as many examples as we need into this form to create an executable specification for our software.